Hello everyone, hope you're all well. I wanted to continue on my legend series, and today I wanted to give one of the greatest wicket keepers of all time, who was a natural wicket keeper and was a role model to plenty of wicket keepers, especially in England and around the world as well. And I should have put him before as well because he's a legend from the past. I'm talking about Alan Knott of England. He was born April 9th, 1946 in Kent, England, and first class cricket he played almost all his life for Kent. I think he had one season no, he had with the Tasmania in Australia, but otherwise he played for Kent. And he is widely regarded as one of the greatest wicket keepers of all time, who was a natural gloveman, and he was excellent with his movements, and he also had tremendous powers of concentration as a wicket keeper. When I put my video on Rodney Marsh, I had said about Alan Knott. Both of them were the best wicket keepers at that time, and Alan Knott was a classical wicket keeper. And he's also regarded as one of the most eccentric characters in the game of cricket as well. I'll come back to it. His stats, he played 95 test matches for England and he scored 4,389 runs at an average of 32.75. And he scored 500s and his highest was 135. And he also had 269 dismissals as a wicketkeeper in Test cricket, which is catches and stumpings together. And in first class cricket, he scored more than 18,000 runs and he scored 1700s. And he also had 1,344 dismissals as a wicketkeeper, stumpings and catches together. And that was one of the best, one of the all-time best records as well at that point. And his test average of 32.75 was very good for a wicketkeeper at that time. I mean, in the 70s, 60s, 70s, around that time, I mean, a wicketkeeper with 32.75 average was like gold. I mean, you wouldn't find many wicketkeepers who average that, no, probably none, and consistently as well. And he scored 500s as well. And he did a lot for Kent as well. I mean, in 1974 and 1973 and 1976, Benson and Hedges Cup success of Kent was a lot attributed to Alan Knott as well. And in the 1974 Gillette Cup finals, he was the man of the match in the finals as well. So he did a lot for Kent. And the reason why I said he was eccentric was one of the things that he used to do was that he used to always keep his shirt collar up to protect himself from the sun, which is a rare thing. And he also used to roll his sleeves down to protect his elbow when he was diving. And he also had this habit that he learned from one of the old wicket keepers. He had this habit of warming his hands with hot water before he went onto the field. And he also used to have a lot of inner gloves as well. So there's a lot of different things that Alan Knott was like, almost like superstitious. That's why I said he was one of the most eccentric characters in the game and a very colorful character as well. And one of his best performances came here. I mean, he made his debut for England, a test debut at the age of 21, by the way. And he says the best innings of his career came, or the most important batting time of his career came in West Indies, the tour of West Indies in the fifth test at Georgetown. On the final day, England needed only a draw to win the series. And Lance Gibbs, the off spinner who I have given as a legend, he took three quick wickets. And England were reduced to just 41 for 5. They were really struggling at 41 for 5. And there was a lot of time for West Indies to take the remaining wickets, and that is when Alan Knott joined Colin Cowdrey, the captain, and together they put a 127-run partnership, and then Colin Cowdrey got out. And the West Indies still had more than an hour to get the final 4 wickets after Colin Cowdrey got out. And then Alan Knott kept on batting, and in the final over of the match, Alan Knott was batting with the number 11 batsman. And it was so tense that they say Colin Cowdrey, the captain, locked himself in the toilet because it was too tense for him to watch. But Alan Knott kept his calm and he guided his number 11 batsman through the final over, and they obtained a draw, which won the series for England as well. So that Alan Knott regards that as his best innings in a Test career. I mean, the most crucial, because it was a series-winning contribution from him in a very, very tough situation. And in 1968-69 series against Pakistan, the tour of Pakistan, he scored 250s on the tour, and he scored an excellent 96 not out at Karachi as well. But just before the match finished, there was an invasion of the pitch. The fans, the Pakistani fans, invaded the ground, and the match was ended prematurely. Otherwise, Alan Knott would have reached a very well-deserved 100, and that too in the subcontinent in Pakistan. So he really batted well in that series. And in 1974-75, England lost the Ashes to Australia, but there was a big moment in the fifth Test at Adelaide when Alan Knott scored 106 not out, and that was only the second 100 by a wicket-keeper in 219 Test matches between Australia and England in the Ashes. Just the second 100 by a wicket-keeper, and even the fourth 100 was scored by Alan Knott actually, and Rodney Marsh actually scored the third 100 as well. I mean, Test matches between Australia and England. And Alan Knott, I mean, he was a role model to a lot of wicket keepers, especially in England. I mean, he was really looked up to. And even internationally, Alan Knott was really famous for his wicket-keeping skills, and he was really acrobatic, and he was really a very fast wicket-keeper who was very quick on his feet. And that also made him a very good batsman. And in 1976, he did play a few one-day internationals. He did captain England in against West Indies in 1976, and incidentally, that is Sir Ian Botham's international debut for England when Alan Knott was the captain in 1976 versus Australia, and it was also the one-day international debut of Graham Gooch. So that was a very famous one-day international. Alan Knott's his captaincy, Ian Botham making his international debut, and Graham Gooch making his ODI debut. And Alan Knott's career kind of came to a premature end because he went on the Rebel Tour of South Africa, like a lot of players used to do at that time, and obviously that didn't go well with the English Cricket Board, and that's how his career came to an end. I mean, and even when he was like 39 years old, he was still considered as the best wicket-keeper in England, and a lot of people thought that he would still maybe make a comeback into the international English Test team, but he didn't really make a comeback after that Rebel Tour of South Africa. So that was Alan Knott's career there, but he is fondly remembered, and he was a very, very popular Test player for England in the 60s, 70s, and he was I mean, obviously, I said he was an eccentric character, but he was also a very colorful character, and he was full of joy all the time, and he was like full of life, I should say. He was one of those players that was full of life. I mean, when you say full of life, definitely one player that comes to mind is Jonty Rhodes. Alan Knott was kind of one of those characters who was a very exuberant character, obviously being a wicketkeeper as well. Anyway, that is my video on Alan Knott, who is one of the greatest wicket-keepers ever to play the game of cricket, and an absolute English legend who was an absolutely wonderful batsman as well. I mean, to average 32.75 and to score 500s in that era, 60s, 70s, for a wicket-keeper was a very good contribution. And his first-class dismissals of 1,344 was one of the best in the history of cricket at that time as well. So a lot of contributions from Alan Knott to England. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Please take care, and if you have time, please do check maybe some clippings of Alan Knott on YouTube. Thank you everyone. Please take care, and God bless you.